Let's call this budget committee meeting for Tuesday, July the 7th, 4:30 to order. We got the minutes before us. Are there any additions or subtractions to them?
You need to call.
I do need to call roll first. Thank you. Commissioner Dennis Wade. Show that he's absent. Commissioner Bowens.
Here.
Commissioner Stubblefield.
Here.
Commissioner Glover.
Here.
The chair's here, so 4 being present, we've got a quorum. Back to the minutes. Are there any additions or subtractions to them?
I make a motion here be approved as presented.
I've got a motion by Commissioner Glover to approve as written. And a second by Commissioner Bowens. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Let it be known that the minutes carry. First on the agenda, I'm going to turn this one over to Jody to present coming out of Judge Joel Perry's office.
Okay, basically, y'all, for the fiscal year 2021 budget, an historic moment where we've never passed the budget before June 30th. We have as of this year, and this is the first budget amendment. I did not receive it until it was too late to put this in our budget. So this is a state mandated salary increase of 1.8% on the consumer price index. And it's something we're actually required to do by law.
I make a motion we approve it.
I've got a motion to approve by Commissioner Glover. I've got a second by Commissioner Stubblefield. Any more discussion? Ready to vote? Commissioner Glover?
Aye.
Commissioner Stubblefield?
Aye.
Commissioner Bowens?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. 4 ayes. Ayes have it. All right. Second on our agenda is the sheriff to present a balanced budget amendment number 2. What you got, Sheriff?
What we got here, had things kind of get overlooked. This is the first year that we have not been required by the state to pass a resolution by the county commission for our litter grant program. We have one employee for the sheriff's office that is not within the sheriff's normal budget. It is in the litter grant program itself, has a separate budget. That individual falls under all the policies and procedures of the sheriff's office. So during COVID-19, he's not been allowed to take any time off unless he took his sick time or vacation time like the rest of the sheriff's office employees. He's had to work the jail around all the inmates just like every other sheriff's office employee. He's always got the step increase. So we kind of missed it, our fault, being a budget that's not with our normal employees. So we're just trying to correct that with a balanced budget amendment, taking it out of 599.
I got a motion to approve by Commissioner Bowens.
Second.
And I got a second by Commissioner Glover. Any more discussion? Ready to vote? Commissioner Bowens?
Aye.
Commissioner Stubblefield?
Aye.
Commissioner Glover?
Aye.
The chair votes aye. 4 ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Next on the agenda, I'm going to turn this over to Jody to discuss 3 separate balanced budget amendments. We're going to have number 3, number 4, number 5 from our County General Fund 101.
Okay, basically, this is where County Commissioner Dennis Wade was researching the EMS ambulance services in other counties throughout the state. And he said that the employee insurance was not in their department. So this was kind of actually a request made by the Budget Committee via Dennis Wade, Budget Committee member. And what I have done is we've already went ahead and coded everything through payroll. I took the first payroll that we had that will come out this Friday, July 10th, multiplied it out by 24, and actually had to put a little bit of an increase on there. The sheriff had extra on his, I think extra 170,000 because he has open positions. I think there was 10,000 extra in circuit court clerk and about 40,000 extra in the ambulance service. There's still a little bit of funds left in that account because the county pays for a $15,000 life insurance policy. So that's budget amendment number 3 for the general fund. And I basically did the same thing for solid waste fund. They don't have that much left in theirs. I'm guessing they must have had an employee that was taking extra insurance or something from last year. And then, the highway department, we did the same thing. So this is just basically moving the employee insurance expense from the back of their budget under other to each department. That'll actually end up being helpful when we have to do a health department report. They've not liked that we're the only county that doesn't do it that way for a lot of years.
I think this is getting it right.
Mhm.
Yep.
All right, I make a motion, we approve this.
I've got a motion to approve this, yours, number 3, number 4, and number 5 budget amendments.
Mhm.
So I've got a motion to approve number 3, 4, 5, and I've got a second by Commissioner Stubblefield. Any
Okay.
more discussion? Ready to vote?
Question.
Commissioner Stubblefield?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowles? Commissioner Glover?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. 4 ayes have it. All right, next on the list, moving right along, I've got Delvin Hester, Highway Superintendent, to present a budget amendment number 6 for asphalt line item 131-602-000-402.
Okay, this is money we set up at the first of every year. We got 6 commissioners. We set up so much money for asphalt, and it's divided up in between the commissioners, and every year I try to get it down as close to zero as I can. Well, this year with the virus and the wet weather, we couldn't get it to zero, so I've had some commissioners having $80,000, $90,000, and some commissioners having, negative maybe 1,000 or so. And I told Lynette, to me, it's only fair for it to go back to the commissioner that, usually we got it within 2,000 or 3,000 each way, and we just put it all back in the fund balance and start over. But this here was a big amount of money. I've done spent a whole lot of this 131 this week.
I agree. I think that's the right way to do it.
I make a motion, we approve.
I've got a motion to approve by Commissioner Glover. I've got a second by Commissioner Bowens. Any more discussion? Ready to vote? Commissioner Glover?
Aye.
Commissioner Stubblefield?
Aye.
Commissioner Bowens? Chair votes aye. The 4 ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vanilla.
Thank you.
I'll leave the next one.
All right. And next on our list, I'm going to turn that over to our Finance Director, Jody Stewart.
Okay, item number 5 actually just came up after I did this agenda last week. And myself and the payroll accountant, Donna Riley, has been talking to a U.S. Bank representative, Mr. Stephen Browerman. He is online. I just want to read item 5 to y'all, and then we could have Mr. Steve Browerman explain what's going on. I've got Mr. Steve Browerman. He's a U.S. Bank representative, and it looks like there might be 4 other U.S. Bank representatives online to discuss the county's direct deposit bank accounts and our electronic funds tax payment system payroll tax banks accounts. Both of these bank accounts are clearing accounts for county employees' direct deposit and payroll taxes. These accounts have been in existence since the Finance Department was created in 1992. The Affordable Care Act caused the need for 6 bank accounts in 2014 instead of the original need for 2 bank accounts beginning in 1992. U.S. Bank will discuss the need to impose charges for the first time since the Finance Department was created. Mr. Steve Browerman, did you want to explain what's going on and why we're needing to pay funds?
Yeah, thanks, Donna. Karen, I don't know if you want to attack the talk or not, because I know you've been working with this relationship even longer than myself.
Sure, I can support your response as well. And this is Karen Bigelow. I manage U.S. Bank's government banking complex sales and solutions team. As Jody and Donna may remember, I was also a relationship manager for your organization for the county, 15 years plus ago. And as she said, at this point, for a lot of the various reasons, primarily driven by the impacts of COVID-19, interest rates have probably a year ago, for the last 2 years, started to go up. And then suddenly in February, as a result of the impact of COVID-19, from December through February, interest rates began to plummet. Our interest rate currently, the target Fed funds rate is the rate index we use mostly, is between 0 and 0.25%. And this is an issue that is occurring globally, not just in the United States, not just US Bank, but what is happening is because interest rates have fallen, we provide the county an earnings credit rate. It's not interest, but it's really an amount equivalent to a due bill, if you will, to offset all of your service charges. And that rate, when interest rates were high, has always been sufficient to cover your service charges. And in the rare occasions when it wasn't, US Bank had the ability to waive those service charges just because it wasn't consistent. However, as interest rates have fallen, as all organizations, businesses, governments, financial institutions alike are experiencing the impacts of higher unemployment, more delinquency in payments, and less income and revenues from all sources. The interest rates have gone down. Our rate has fallen for you to 1 basis point for interest or 1.01%. And for earnings credits, we felt that we had the ability to hold your earnings credit rates a little bit more artificially high than that rate of 1 basis point or 0.01% that the industry is starting to see at this point. So what we did is we exception priced your treasury management services to almost 60-some% discount off of our standard retail price that we offer to our corporate customers. And we have your earnings credit rate set at 0.20%. So you will earn on any balances left in your account earnings credit, similar to interest, but really more of a due bill to help offset your service charges. The amount of balances in the account is no longer sufficient to offset service charges. So as a result, there is now a charge that is being incurred to support the direct deposit program and the accounts, as Jody mentioned. So this is something that is occurring at our institution, at every other institution. Rates vary, but at this point, while we may find an institution who is experiencing the ability to say, sure, we'll provide you these services or a higher interest rate or earnings credit rate, admittedly, US Bank is probably on the front end or the leading edge of changing interest rates up and down. We would manage this very intently and very focused. As the market moves, we move with it. So if other banks are saying that they can do more or can provide a higher interest or earnings credit rate, what you will experience is, and many of our customers are telling us this from experience, that they've moved funds to another institution only within days, weeks, or months to find that they too have lowered their rates similar to what US Bank has done. So as I said, admittedly, we may be on the leading edge of it, but it is what most banks are doing at this point. When rates go back up, you will receive the benefit of rates going back up, but disappointing maybe as this is, I don't foresee that happening in the next 6 months to 1 year budget cycle, but we also didn't forecast this either from COVID-19. So I'll stop there. I'll open it up for any questions that you may have, but as I said, suffice it to say that we understand that you too have budget issues and shortages. It is occurring with you and all of our customers. We have states who are not receiving earnings credit rates any higher than you are. In fact, many are less, and significantly larger customers who have significantly more balances, more service charges, and they too are receiving very much the same structure that you have. So, comment?
How much are talking monthly wise?
So this will be a question either for Steve or Karen, okay? Donna shows me the customer settlement page where y'all are right. We were at an interest, an earning credit rating at 1.35%. It was started up last June. The 1.35% went all the way through February, And it appears it's down to 0.45 in March, 0.45 in April, and then 0.2 in May. And from what Steve is expressing, he's not only going forward for my 21 budget, but he's needing me to come up with $1,714.10 that goes back from June to February. So I got two situations going on. I've got where I have to pay back money, and then I have to pay monies going forward. And I've estimated the May being 436. June I haven't received yet, but we have the two payrolls in June, the June 25 payroll for teacher and June 30. So to be on the safe side, I figured we were needing $500 a month times 12. So this is a need for a $6,000 budget amendment. Our budgets are flat, and I don't have that kind of excess money in my budget. Now on the 20 budget, the 1,700, we did do a good job with our monies. I think I would have 1,700 to pay the 1,700. I'm not positive how y'all want me to work this, to look at another bank, or what y'all are thinking I should do.
When did you find this out?
I actually found out for sure that we were going to be charged this last Wednesday morning when I received an email from Steve.
Do you pay?
But Jody, I'd sent an email out about a month prior, and you've gotten the bills, the February bill, you've probably gotten about March or so.
Well, we've been getting bills right along ever since I've been doing the Affordable Care Act for the last 5 or 6 years, and we've been getting them credited off and worked through. And Donna Riley's been helping me deal with it. So the last communication I had, Steve, was you said we were going to have to pay, and we said, well, I couldn't pay it until you came and explained this to my budget committee, and I'd already sent out my agenda on Tuesday, and Wednesday morning it says we owe all this money.
So if you got
Jody, this is Karen. I would also add to that part of the issue is as you said, you're looking back to fees that have been invoiced but not paid. But it has been ongoing for a few years where we've been acknowledging that we pay you an earnings credit rate, you leave balances in the account. Any balances that are there we're receiving that 1.35+% earnings credit rate to help offset those service charges. And it is explained that is a variable number based on the amount of the balances and the variation in interest rates. So, economically speaking, you are aware as interest rates are going up, you're fully covering your service charges as rates were falling, that it was creating an invoice. So that process is not new or not unexplained or not, it wasn't hidden. But
I think we understand that. I think when did y'all alert? Do you alert that this is going down, like from 1.35 to what 0.4? Yeah, it's 0.2 now. So do you disclose that, or is it just a sliding scale that we don't know about?
It is disclosed in each month's account analysis as the rates change in the economic level in the industry. And so, yes, it's disclosed that way. Do we?
So it's our job to cipher through the statements to find it, is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Okay, Karen, you may or may not realize this, but as of last year, yes, you're right, we're receiving this. And yes, I feel like I have been battling this for years because it went from 2 bank accounts to 6 bank accounts, which kind of makes me think I really don't have much more volume. So I guess this all happened because of the Affordable Care Act, by law, we were required to go to 6 bank accounts. I had to use 3 separate federal ID numbers so we would be in compliance and not have discrimination. We went under the single point, which was what you all suggested. We've been working with this, and as of last year, Steve told us if I could ask my trustee to put $150,000 in the U.S. Bank and leave it there in addition to these other credits, he felt like that we were going to be okay. But as you can tell, the COVID-19 came up, and it seemed like it started being an issue in February.
And that's exactly right. given what we had, you had not seen any fees or anything, and it wasn't until in February when the Fed funds rate plummeted from 1.75 then down to 0.25 that caused the earnings credit rates to go down. And so that was out of the bank's control.
Do you think someone from the bank should have picked up the phone and contacted our finance office to say that it was going to drop that low? Or is it just left upon us to do that?
Been on the news, and you get the notices, and so maybe I didn't give you contact, and so I guess it was my fault.
Did you, in your disclosures when the accounts were open, did you, in the disclosures, does it state in there that the interest rates can change without notice?
Yes,
Or
it does.
You don't have to give us a 30-day notice of the change?
No, interest rates are bank managed. They change and move with the industry and with bank discretion. And primarily for this very reason, none of us sitting here today expected to be in the position that we are in seeing the impact that our interest rates as a general economic level fell from 1.75 to back down to near zero. In fact, the banks in the entire world and industry have concerns that we continue to watch to make sure that interest rates don't go negative. It would be the first time that we've ever experienced it. In that, odd as it sounds, that there may come a time if interest rates go negative that customers would have to pay to leave their balances and we would pay people to borrow. It's unusual, unprecedented. So yes, we don't commit to interest rates for that very reason. And I will say, as I said before, this is not something that is isolated to you all. We've refunded fees in the past to be accommodating to you, to our customer, as many times as we can. However, at this point, because the entire subset of our government customers are all experiencing what you're having the same experience of, we don't have the ability to continue doing refunds, not just for you or for others. We have many, many other customers who have the same situation. They historically had significant balances paying off their service charges or earning interest that they now, need tenfold of that balance to offset their service charges in many cases, or simply cannot because they simply don't have the additional money to add to get the earnings credit to offset their service charges, and it just becomes a hard dollar charge they have to pay.
So what are our options?
I'm sorry, those charges are supporting the direct deposit payment program in creating ACH transactions and paying employees.
So basically we're going from $0 to $6,000 a year. I think that's what's upsetting and disheartening to me. It's hard to believe we go all these years and pay nothing, and then all of a sudden, when we're paying, it just seems like it's a lot. But we're looking at these justifications. Donna's talked with Steve. We're trying the best to, scale down whatever services you're providing on that single point. We gave up some tokens, and she said she saved a little other money. I guess what y'all are saying is this is just it, and we either pay it or go to another bank.
That's what the sheriff's office, we moved our fund to Reliant Bank.
You did move to Reliant Bank?
I would
y'all
suggest that we figure out how
give me
to
a
pay this money right now, and then we do some research and some study on this.
I want to ask the sheriff, what kind of rate are you looking at? No fees?
No fees at Reliant
So
Bank?
that's our
I
answer right
think
there.
Farmers Bank would probably do the same way. I'm checking now. I haven't got
Well, what we'll have to do is we'll pay the fees that are owed, but from here forward, it's time, starting tomorrow morning, to find us another bank.
Okay. We will do.
Is that a motion?
Do we need that in form of a motion?
I think we,
Yes, I have the
So then we're
seven.
going to need the motion to pay these fees.
Go to community
Isn't it-
bank. and it's
Is it $6,000 even?
No,
No,
no.
if we continue on with them, I have to do a budget amendment for that. If we try to get, away from US Bank, why don't we just wait? Because, there would be some fees, maybe it might take us July or August. That would possibly be only around $1,000. I could probably afford to pay that out of my budget. And if I needed a budget amendment, trying to get through this, I'll research. I'll come back to the,
Let's wait till we get a final number and then we'll
Mhm.
appropriate funds at that point.
so you're giving me the directive to research, other banks.
Yeah, and we know the sheriff's got it. He moved his to Reliant, so we know that's a viable option.
Well, but do we need to make a motion that we terminate immediately
It'll take time.
It's gonna take
It's
time.
gonna take time, but I will get Donna and myself and we will get on it first thing tomorrow morning.
Is there any penalty if we don't pay for it? Their interest rate or any?
Well,
I'm gonna say they're gonna tell us we have to pay it, especially
Yep.
if we're gonna take our business elsewhere.
the money's owed, so let's go ahead and get a check cut for the money owed.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Then it's approximately $1,700. I can make that check out on June 30th and then I'll see what I need to do for July and August.
That'll work.
If you wanna give me a motion to move forward to find another bank.
I make a motion that we move forward to reach an agreement with another bank to service our account.
Got a motion on the floor. I've got a second by Commissioner Bowens. Any more discussion? Questions? Mr. Bowens?
Aye.
Mr. Stubblefield? Commissioner Glover?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. The ayes have it, 4 ayes.
Thank you all
Thank y'all
very
for attending the
much.
meeting.
Thank you.
Sorry for the outcome. Thanks.
Next on the agenda is Dr. Chris Causey, School Director, requesting a balanced budget amendment number 7 for $1.2 million. This is for the Bransford Elementary School Energy Efficient Project. Dr. Causey, you online?
Yes, sir. Here I am. I had to find the mute button. I apologize. This just simply takes the 1.2 million that the Budget Committee and the County Commission approved from our reserve and puts it in a line item so that we can start paying the project at Bransford. Very excited about it. We have a meeting next week with Trey and some of the ESG's engineers and ready to get started.
Excellent. Any questions for Dr. Causey?
Motion we pass this.
I've got a motion to approve by Commissioner Stubblefield. Do I have a second? Got a second by Commissioner Bowens. Any more discussions, questions? Let's vote. Commissioner Glover?
Aye.
Commissioner Stubblefield?
Aye.
Commissioner Bowens?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. 4 ayes. The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Causey.
Thanks.
Any new business? Any old business? I've got one little thing. In discussion with the lease for the Dr. Plaza, it was going to be a triple net lease. And there was, during that point, Commissioner Wade had thrown out that there would be no taxes owed on the building because the county owes it. So a triple net lease would entail the taxes to be paid by the leaseor, or the leasee. So we've ran into a problem. That's about $9,000 worth of taxes that's got to be paid because we're renting the building out. If we were not renting it out, the taxes would not be owed. So the only solution I can come up with is if we were to grant them a couple of months free, rent in order to offset that the taxes owed on it. There was an agreement that was made. I was in the meeting. Commissioner Wade was in the meeting. So I feel like they can't afford to pay any more than what they've agreed to do. So in lease.
Have you discussed that with them, with the tenants?
Vaguely. I told them I would try to come up with a solution. They don't know the solution, but I feel like that's as close as we can get to it. I mean, I'd get them $8,000. I'd get them within $1,000. So it would be simple as me reaching out to them to see if it would be sufficient.
All right, I make a motion, we approve the waiver of 2 months of rent.
I've got a motion for the free 2 months rent in order to offset taxes for the building. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We've got a second by Mr. Bowens. Any more discussion? Ready to vote? Commissioner Stubblefield?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowens? Commissioner Glover? Chair votes aye. The ayes have it. Well, thank y'all. It's something we didn't realize was gonna pop up, but we got a solution to it, so I wanna thank y'all. Joe, do you have anything else?
I can't think of anything else right this moment.
Mayor, do you have anything?
Not the job fix.
What about the mask?
Huh?
What about the mask?
Start midnight tomorrow night.
How long does it last?
Till August 3rd.
What?
Y'all have a good day.
Well,
Well, I got to go to funeral.
Mr. Mayor, will there be fines and arrests if we don't wear a mask?
I don't know. I'm gonna find out.
You have to set those. You'll have to set those.
I'm gonna.
all right,
Well, Mayor, I'll say that I know it was not an easy
What we need to
decision,
do, we'll take care of it.
but I think it was the right decision for Robertson County.
But that ain't what I want to do.
Well,
Here, here.
it's not right. I mean, it's just a tough decision. You wasn't gonna win either way you win, but I applaud your decision and I think it was the right
Here,
move.
here. I do too.
Mr. Mayor, I disagree with
They'll
you.
take care of it
All
for
right,
you.
I disagree with you.
Eric, I'd like to.
Yeah, 23 pounds.
Come on in.
So I'll entertain a motion to,
Can we get out?
no, we adjourn.
got a motion to adjourn, got a second. All those in favor say aye. Ayes have it.